So this is like an example of like a pattern recognition problem. So we have in the pattern below, the cat moves clockwise through 4 squares and the mouse moves counterclockwise through the 8 exterior segments of the 4 squares. Want to know if the pattern is continued, where would the cat and mouse be after the 247th move? So this should be a pretty like common kind of question where they give you some like pattern, some like cyclic variation, or like some like basically some pattern that repeats over time. And they want to know what happens after some large number of like repetitions. So the idea for this question is like you just look at the mouse and the cat like separately, right? So the cat, like there are 4 squares that the cat moves through. So the cat is gonna like cycle through 4 different squares. So if we were to do 247, if we were to do 247 divided by 4, we get like something like 61 with a remainder of 3. So that tells us that the cat is gonna like repeat its cycle like 61 times, and then it's gonna like move 3 more times, right? So if you have like a square and the cat is like starting here, so the cat is like there, I'll just indicate it with a star. Then after one cycle, so after one cycle, after like let's say after like 4 moves, it's gonna like be back at its like original starting point, right? Since like it cycles every 4 moves. So basically, if we were to like continue this, right? Let me see. So the cat, so after like, but we have to be like kind of careful, right? Like we can't like directly say, oh, that means the cat is gonna move like 3 additional moves. So the cat's clearly gonna be like, if the cat's here, you're gonna do 1, 2, 3, and then you might think, oh, the cat's gonna be here afterwards, right? But like the reason that's like not true is you have to be like very careful, right? Because when the cat is at its starting position, we have to like treat that as like kind of like think of it as like move number 0, because like the cat hasn't moved yet. Like it's at its starting position. So after its first move, after 1 move, it's actually like there. So after 2 moves, it's there, and then like 3 moves, it's there, and then like 4 moves, it's there, right? So like basically like how you have to think about it is like the cat is gonna like repeat that 61 times. So let me think, how should I like, okay, so like that tells us that like after 244 moves, so 244 is like the next, like is like the largest multiple of 4 that's less than 247. So after like 244 moves, the cat is gonna like be back at its like starting position. But remember, like we have to, okay, actually in the original question, for some reason, like they defined like this starting position here as like move number 1. So like technically, like we have to say move number 245 to do 1 plus this. 1 plus 244, move 245 would have the cat at this back at its starting position. So then we have to like repeat 2 more steps. So like the cat would then move here and then move here. So the cat would now like be here in this square here. So the cat would have to be in the bottom right corner, and that would leave us with choices A and C. And then we would do a similar thing with the mouse, right? So the mouse like starts out like at this segment here. So remember that counts as move number 1. That does not count as move number 0. I think I might have said you count it as move number 0. Just like ignore that. Like this counts as like move number 1 for some reason. So if you were to like notice that like 247 divided by 8, that gives like 30 with a remainder of 7. So so basically notice that like after every 8 moves, the mouse is gonna like make a repeat cycle. So on its first move, the mouse is going to be here. After its 9th move, the mouse is going to be back there. After the 17th move, 25th move, and so on, the mouse is like going to be back at its starting position. So in general, all the numbers that are 1 greater than a multiple of 8 like are going to cause the mouse to come back to its starting position. So you find that 241 is 1 more than a multiple of 8. So on the 241st move, the mouse is going to be back at its starting position. So that means move number 242 is going to be here. Move 243 is here. 244 is here. 245 is here. 246 is here. And 247 is here. So that tells us that on the 247th move, the mouse is going to be like in this position here. And we found that the cat was going to be in the bottom right corner. So that would make choice A the answer. So I'm not sure if that was like a little confusing. So I'll just like quickly like summarize it again. Basically, like we have to be careful. Like we notice that the cat cycles through the squares every 4 times and the mouse cycles through the segments every 8 times. So for the mouse, for example, we notice that on its first move, it's going to be at its starting position. After 1 plus 8, which is 9, so after the 9th move, the mouse is going to be back at its starting position. And at the 17th move, the 25th move, and we can repeat the pattern. All the numbers that are 1 greater than a multiple of 8, the mouse is going to be back at its starting position. So the mouse is going to be back at its starting position on move 241 as well. So then afterwards, we can just simulate it. Like we can just count 1 by 1 to find where the mouse ends up at. And we can do a very similar process for the cat. And then we could find that choice A was the answer.